You're about to witness a seismic event.
Daddy, can you put on Skitbags Radio?
No, go to bed.
Okay, yeah, that's the promo.
Yeah.
Oh, this is Irish meal. Where are we going? I think I see him in the distance. I think that's him. I don't know. Is that Fabrizio? Fabrizio Copano? Help us, Fabrizio! That's right, it's Skitbags Radio and it's game time on Dash Talk X. We coming with the guys. I'm Mr. C the Enforcer, and coming up right now, we got Mr. Fabrizio Copano!
Hi, hello.
Welcome.
Wow.
Welcome.
That was amazing.
Our illustrious guest,
that
Fabrizio.
was amazing.
Thank you, sir.
It didn't explain anything, but it was better than that, you know? Like, it was so much better.
We take the best fanfare. Carl's the best at doing these intros. He's got it down pat.
It's the Carl special right there.
It was insane.
All-
you know?
You ever need a hype man or you want somebody to bring you up and the crowd's dead? You get Carl. Carl's the best to bring you up.
Yeah, dude.
He's gonna steal the show, you know? Like, people are gonna be like, I don't want to see anything more than that.
If
you
you're
know?
ever-
People are gonna be like, okay, that's it. That's a show.
If
You know?
Carl
Turn the
did-
radio off now.
Carl did stand up, his whole set would just be a bunch of different intros for other people.
Yeah, that's my hosting gig. Yep.
Well, that's the way I watch Netflix specials anyway. I just watch the intros and then I just skip it. So it makes sense.
True.
Well, Fabrizio, thank you for being here, man. Welcome to the show.
I'm so happy to be here. It was just so weird. I met you once through Shan Joshi, and then
Yeah, our
boom.
good friend Sean.
Shout out,
He's
Sean.
also been on the show.
Sean, yeah.
He's a great guy.
He was a great guest.
Yeah.
He is another amazing comedian, but you yourself are amazing and very successful comedian. I've seen some of your English stuff that is, obviously less volume as your Spanish stuff.
It's very rare, the English stuff. Very rare. You got to look for it.
Are you
This
okay?
is a special.
Yeah.
He's having a stroke.
I'm coughing from our good friends, The Dipper, who, is helping us out with the show. So visit dipsticvapes.com.
Yeah.
Anyways, Fabrizio, I want to say, give our audience a little background about where you're from. You're from Chile. How'd you get into comedy?
Yes.
Walk us down this road. Tell our audience, who you are, as far as, how you got into this business.
I'm from Santiago, Chile, in South America. This is the last country on the planet, probably, right next to the Antarctica.
Yeah.
And I grew up there, and I was watching cable channels, and I just started watching specials of HBO. At the time, there was no that many comedy in Chile. I mean, there was all joke tellers, TV personalities who just tell jokes, but not like stand-up comedy. And I watched Eddie Murphy Raw, and I watched, it was a Louis Black special at the time. I watched a bunch of specials, and I started thinking about trying to do something like that in Chile. So with a couple of friends, years later, we started doing the first proper stand-up comedy shows there. I think it was around 2007 or something.
Wait, so are you kind of like the Martin Luther King for Chilean stand-up comedy?
Thank you for saying that. Thank you. I was waiting for someone finally address that, kind of. I had a dream, and the dream was doing stand-up. And then we started doing a TV show. We started doing tours. It was really successful right away. And a bunch of my friends still are there doing stand-up, doing shows. But then I decided to move to America, trying to do things in another language, starting to start all over again in a new place. And I moved here 2 years ago, and I'm starting doing stand-up in English now. And I try to have a balance between both worlds. I travel to Chile all the time to keep still doing shows. I travel to Mexico a lot. I have a fan base there. I've been traveling all over South America. I did a tour in Australia this year. So I work everywhere, and now I'm working in 2 languages, and that's my life.
Nice.
And that's it.
Dope.
Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, that's awesome, man. I don't think the audience, maybe your Chilean audience, your Mexican audience probably realize it, but I don't know if the people in the studio realize just how big you are in Chile. You do your research, and you're popping, man. You are what Trevor Noah was to stand up in South Africa is what you are to Chilean stand up, I would say.
That sounds cool. I didn't have the same story of Trevor Noah, thank God, but yeah, it was rough. rough. I read his book.
Bit of a rough time.
Yeah, I can't write that book. My book is gonna be like 3 pages of like, it was all fun. And the thing is, I've been doing comedy there for 10 years, more than 10 years, like 12. And we were the first, so there's a lot of people who really like enjoy our work. And it's fun to be there. It's fun to do shows for like big crowds and having blasts with like Chilean audience. But like my mind now is like trying to like do more material and do more shows here in LA. And since I moved here, I realized this is probably the hardest town to find gigs in America. You know, so it's a lot of work. It's also a lot of fun. You make a lot of friends. You meet a lot of cool people. But it's a new game. You know, so sometimes I'm in Chile doing like an arena, and next week I'm for 5 people in Culver City.
Are you doing arenas? That's what I was gonna ask you. What kind of gigs are you? You're doing fucking arenas in Chile? Like, how many people does that seat?
Right now, like last week we did a big show with a friend, and it was like a 5K. The audience was like around like. I mean, I can show you a picture. I didn't count the numbers, but it's a
thousands,
lot.
right?
We can bring big crowds now, but it took us like 10 years. You know, it was a lot of work and building and explain because people here, stand-up comedy has been here for like 60 years or something. You know, but in Chile it was so new that I remember people thought it was like karaoke. You know, like. These guys are just going stage and just like
they just talk
without the music. Like this karaoke without the music.
It's not
and still sometimes I do shows and people are like, "Oh, you should do shows in our bar." And I would like I go to check the place and it's like just impossible. You know, it's like a sushi place or something. You know.
I should do it anyway. While you're eating sushi, just bang bang, bust some sushi, hit a joke.
That's also fun. Yeah. But
sure
it's still like a work in progress there. Yeah. But there's a lot of great comedians in South America, and the cool thing is Netflix now is putting out there a bunch of like great comics from Mexico and Colombia and Argentina, so you can check them everywhere. And I think there's a cool, like really like a good generation of stand-up comedians there now.
Question: did you receive any like negative social feedback as you were trying to do it from maybe older people in the area? You know, don't like people talking a certain way. Maybe they don't like you making fun of Jesus or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you get a lot of that at all?
With a couple of friends, we did a TV show and we started doing like, they were so dumb. If you watch them now, you'll be like, no one can get angry about this. But we started doing a sketch when Jesus was Chilean. So it was like a Latino Jesus. He was like playing soccer and, it was so nice with Jesus. Jesus was so cool, And obviously, like, all the people just get crazy angry. And by the way, Chile is really conservative. It's a really conservative country. And we have a story of, like, the dictatorship who was there for many years. And he really, like, changed the culture to, like, this really, like... I don't know, divorce is like a thing that happened in 1995, like it is so old-fashioned in so many ways that people just get so angry at us. But now that once again, like the younger people is more, the internet saves us all and at the same time gives us a lot of trouble. But it's at some point, like internet really changed the mind of a generation, and now people get fun of everything, can get a laugh with Jesus.
Nice.
Laugh along with Jesus. We just happen to have Black Jesus sitting right next to you as well.
Jesus!
Jesus is a great guy, by the way. I mean, I'm not a religious person, but I'm sure if Jesus was here, I'm sure he was just a great guy.
He'd be very supportive.
Super supportive, chill.
Great guy.
Yo, he fucking fed everybody and turned water into wine.
Yep.
He's the party man. Like, I don't know. He probably brought the blunts too.
Oh, yeah, man. He used to go into churches, turn over tables, kicking priests out. He was wild, boy.
He was fun. People forget that Jesus was like... he's not
rebellious, man.
He's not in the Bible, but like I'm sure he had a lot of sex.
Yeah.
His best friends were criminals and hookers.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
He was one with the people, that guy.
Yeah, that's the whole Mary Magdalene thing. They're saying that was like his little side John, the 13th disciple that was allowed to preach, the only one allowed to preach besides him, had a daughter named Sarah that I want to say nothing about.
They were more than just
you know
friends.
What I'm saying? That's why we can't keep. That's why we keep saving them hoes. This is why men keep saving hoes. This is why we love saving hoes. It's Jesus' fault. Damn you, Jesus. Damn you, Jesus.
That's another side I've never heard.
Yep. I'm going to the strip club for Jesus tonight.
Awesome.
Great.
I wanted to ask you about, first of all, you mentioned Netflix and having specials. Yourself is up there on that ledger board, aren't you?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
So, did you film that special in Chile and then sell it to Netflix, or did you do it like with them as an original?
It's
Can you talk about it?
It's an original, and the story of that, it was I started doing videos with I mean, it's still around, but they don't make so many videos anymore. It's called Más Mejor. It was like a division of Broadway video of the guys who make SNL and the guys who make Jimmy Fallon, all those shows.
Oh, yeah.
They're starting like a Latino comedy group, and I was part of that. I get that call from Chile. So I started coming here to the US and having meetings and meeting some people, and then I get a manager. And I was like, okay, this is maybe the time to just move here and try to see what happened. And when I was doing that, my manager got me in touch with the people of Netflix. And there was no specials there was some special from one special of a Mexican comedian at the time, but no really like they were like thinking about doing more stand-up in South America. And I met this Argentinian guy who was running that division. I explained him like, dude, like, because he was out of Argentina for many years, so he was not connected to the culture there. And I was like, dude, in your own country, there's like at least 5 comedians that you will love to see on Netflix. And we started talking about it and say like, he was like, the problem is like Chile is not a market for us now. You know, maybe if you do something that can travel from more than one country, that's the reason why I actually my special is not in Chile. I shoot it in Argentina to try to like have more audience for Netflix at the time. I mean, this is like 3 years ago. It's not like Netflix for 1998. It's not black and white Netflix. This is you know, we would say like back at the time, Netflix was saying. But the truth is like 3 years ago, Netflix was like, we don't care about South America. We don't know who lives there.
Yeah.
And now like they really have a lot, like a big audience. They do original shows, original series. And yeah, I sold my idea to this guy. He was like, let's try it. And then we shoot it in this next year. That meeting, and then it came out in 2017 around September, and it was the first South American special. So that was also pretty cool.
Hey,
That's
groundbreaking.
awesome.
What happens between the meeting that you had and the year later that you filmed it? What happened between that year?
In my life.
Did you have
on
to
the news or I mean
no, like preparing for it? Did you have to prepare a full new set or what?
Did
what's
you write
the business
all
that
new
goes
jokes
through?
about making fun of Argentinians just for the show in Argentina?
I just went to Argentina for a year. I just live in a small house trying to like throw shit to people and see what happened. No, the thing is like I have like a set, but I was like I have to change many things and try to like make them as broad as possible. And I started touring, did a tour with a bunch of friends, and we used to have a show on Comedy Central Latin America. So we were kind of famous in all these countries. So it was pretty cool because we were able to perform for big crowds in Colombia, in Argentina, in Mexico. So in that year, I was just trying this new stuff. And then I knew like some old jokes that already work. So I tried to like make a mix between things I knew that they were good and things that I want to like just put out there on the Netflix special. And at the same time, and that happened, we can show you the video. It's so crazy. You know, Chile have their own like comedy festival, and this festival happened it's not a comedy festival, it's a music festival. This is the story of this festival. It's been around since the 70s or 60s. And the thing is, like, the audience of this festival is like Night of the Apollo. But like the audience to watch this festival is like the Super Bowl. So the whole country watch you doing a set, and at the same time they can boo you and destroy your career. It's so true.
Yeah, you're on. There's a clip of you performing
Yes.
at this festival online. You guys can find it on YouTube. 2.5 million views, by the way. Shout out.
I had to do it at the same year of the Netflix special.
Oh,
That's the reason why I was trying.
So wait, if you suck like a stadium like of like 200,000 people is pretty much booing you?
Yeah, man. No, but it works. It worked. Thank God they didn't boo me.
Oh, okay.
But that happened. There's videos of other people who just bombed, and I did a documentary about the experience because it was so crazy. Because it's true, like the whole country watch your set. I mean, the ratings are insane. And at the same time, they can destroy you. You know, and the audience is called the monster because you can be eaten by the monster. Yeah. So I did that at the same year, preparing also for the Netflix special.
So I was going to ask you this about performing all over, Central and South America. What are the main differences that you've come across when you do sets in like Argentina versus Chile or Mexico versus back home, or because all of these cultures, I'm Cuban, and I know that like within Hispanic culture, everybody's got their own subculture.
Yes.
So it's very distinct too, especially in the way you talk. By the way, you talk like fucking Speedy Gonzalez when you're talking Spanish, man. Like I speak broken Spanish. Like I can understand. I'm like I have to go pause and go back and be like, what did you say? Just because I'm used to hearing Cuban.
Yeah.
So and Cubans sing when they talk Spanish. They're like, ba da da da. It's very slow and melodic. So like it's hard for me to understand Mexicans too, because Mexicans kind of talk really fast. But anyways, what are like the differences in the jokes you have to tell, or even the beats in the way that you have to tell the same jokes in all these different places?
Chileans, we have the word Spanish. We're like, I mean, or Spanish like Australian English. It's so hard to understand, and we don't care about if people get it or not.
I can tell.
Yeah, no, it's true. So when I get out of Chile, I was like, damn, I really have to slow down. So I started doing drugs on stage to like slow down. No, I started like to talk slowly and try to, be like really perform everywhere and every day just to like crack the timing. And yeah, sometimes you change a word and you change the completely meaning of the joke. So you have to like have a lot of comedy friends who are like, no, you know what? Here we say this instead of this.
Got it, yeah.
But also you don't want to sound fake because you don't want to like, they know you're not from there. So what I do is like I use both. I use like my word and the word they use. I try to like be, like you guys said, like this way,
Unifying, doing that Martin Luther King stuff all
once
over again.
Once again, I think, yeah.
Right on, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. So yeah, it's all about like be really connected with like the local culture, and at the same time, you don't want to, as a comedian, if you're faking it, people will notice and they're not gonna laugh. Wow. So you still have to like be real and be like, this is not the way I talk, but I'm here for you. So let's find a middle ground. Also, it's the main difference. I think is the content of the jokes. That's a real like main difference. I think here in America, and probably because you guys been doing this for so many years, jokes are more specific. Our more specific content is funny or get better laugh or better reaction of the audience. I think in South America we still have like big topics, and we still like if you go too deep in one like topic, people start get bored. They need to like get back to like, I mean. It's changing fast, and there are more comedians who are like taking risk and doing more storytelling or like taking jokes to the next level. But like for many years we didn't have this, so you still have to like teach the audience, and starting with like content where everyone can feel related.
Yeah, big topics everybody can relate to.
Yeah. At least now I think there's more like edgy comedians. An alternative audience now, but like it's still new, it's still very fresh.
Well, the more comedians you guys get, the more people will be able to specialize and diversify into the different segments. So,
but it's fun because it's a thing that's happening now. So when you go to Mexico City and you meet the comedians and they're like the places on everything, it feels like the 70s here. That's so cool. Like the energy is there. Everyone's trying, and like there's 5 big names,
and fresh,
and everyone's like competing a little bit, like at the same time they're friends. It's like a good version of I'm Dying Up Here, like
good version of a Dying.
It's like
that's funny.
What I'm Dying Up Here is supposed to be is like what's happening right now in Mexico City. So that's pretty cool.
All right. Ooh, so I have a stupid American question.
Oh, once again,
because
another one.
Because you guys South Central America, and there's different types of Spanish, just like Portuguese and all that kind of stuff. So, like in Chile, do you guys speak Portuguese too, or what is your guys' version of Spanish in Chile specifically?
Carl, Portuguese is a different language.
Well, but it sounds also like
Well, the roots were from the same.
it all sounds like
I get it.
Spanish in the end. Because I think Argentinians speak like Portuguese or something.
No, it's just Brazil.
Brazil.
Oh, okay. It's all Spanish in the end.
Yeah, we all speak Spanish. I think a couple of there's a couple of French in like one corner in the Guyanas. And Haiti have French mixed with like Creole. But the rest of the country is like different kind of Spanish, but like very different.
Very different.
That's the reason why maybe when you hear it, it's like these Argentinians, but they speak like so fucking weird. Like Chileans too, like you know that, and they're very different. I think Colombia and Mexico have the more neutral accents.
Yeah. More like from Spain, like more proper
Spanish,
grammar
Spanish.
they use.
But also like from Spain, they speak really weird too. Like
Well, the
Spanish.
Spain and like Catalonians speak like very, very different proper.
Yes.
Like their Spanish is completely different from anybody in the Americas.
It's changed, changed a lot. Like it really, like it's very different. But Brazil is another game. It's like another continent inside the continent. Like they're very different. And now they have like a Nazi in the the president is like a crazy Nazi.
Right.
You know this guy Bolsonaro.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So well.
But in Uruguay, right next door, you can smoke weed all day.
There you go.
Yes. And the president used to be this guy who was like the humblest guy on earth. You know this guy. What's the name of this guy? Well, he was great. He's not the president anymore, but he was like living in poverty at the same time he was running the
people
government.
like all the stuff. I remember they was showing. I would see memes.
He was
about
like a
him and
homeless
whatnot.
person who was running the government.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is it
I don't know if
working,
you want
Caesar?
that. Like, really? No, it's not a good idea. You don't need the richest guy on earth, and you don't want the homeless person. You want something in the
A
middle.
nice balance.
Yeah, exactly.
So like a 1-bedroom apartment.
Right.
And a guy
That's
who
his
lives in an
version of
Airbnb. Yeah.
What you get to deal with hecklers the same way back home down south that as you do like here? Like you have people heckling you. I mean, I guess when you're doing arenas and it's such a large show, probably not. But maybe in the clubs or if there is clubs.
Yeah,
or
there's a couple of clubs. Well, the thing is, in South America, you don't see a lot of guns. So you're never really scared of like having a real crazy heckler, you know? I don't know if this is just in my mind, but here it crossed my mind when there's a heckler like maybe this guy have a gun, or or when I'm driving and when I'm in South America and I'm driving and someone do something stupid, I feel free to insult him and be like fuck it and just keep driving. But here I'm like I don't want to get into that fight, because you never know when a guy have a gun. So maybe that's the reason why I'm more careful. And also like I don't have my English is okay, but like in South America and Spanish and Chile, obviously like I'm very good with my.
You can come back. And be quick.
I'm so fast, but here it's not the same yet. So I
Build
prefer
up
to
that
be
confidence.
polite. Yeah, also I don't have that confidence.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I yell at people while driving all the time, and I haven't gotten shot yet.
Not yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
just
look,
Can you walk a little bit, or you're in a wheelchair?
Yeah.
Look, in like New York and LA and like Southern California, you're pretty safe. Just don't do that in like Alabama or Mississippi.
Yeah, the backwoods.
Texas
Yeah.
or one of those fucking states.
So once in a while, a friend
Florida.
of mine is like, I was in, I don't know, a little town, whatever, and the hecklers can be, can wait for you outside.
Oh, yikes. The scariest thing that ever happened to me was honking at my roommate because I didn't know it was her and never heard the end of it. That's the worst for me.
She didn't shoot you?
No.
That's good.
Well, I don't know. It happened less than a week ago, so we'll see what happens. This could be drawn out. This
Didn't
could
shoot
be
you
a,
yet.
She could be slowly poisoning you.
Yeah. Oh,
Very slowly.
Slowly.
that would be scary.
Like Phantom Thread.
Yeah,
how you
that's the
do it.
best way to like poison someone, like slowly and like with this erotic ingredient to it.
Like one of those
those-
Russian spies got killed in England. Is that what you're saying? Like slowly and romantically, so I can enjoy the pain.
Yes, I think that's kind of beautiful.
Awesome.
I don't know.
What have you have you had a chance yet to travel around the states and do different clubs in different cities and stuff?
I went to San Diego. That is like right here. San Francisco. I did New York a couple of times, and that's it. No, and I'm not being really able to like really like. I'm not sure if I want, but no, I would love to. I would love to, but I'm still like in early stages in my set here, you know. So when I feel really confident, I think I'm gonna try to like push it more to like travel more. And the cool thing is like there's a lot of Latinos everywhere.
Yes.
So they always give me a place to stay or like. So that's also nice. Yeah.
I feel like he would love Florida.
Yeah.
I feel like he would love the Miami scene.
Terrified of all the guns, but love everything else.
Let's stop all this right now. Don't nobody go to motherfucking Florida for no reason. Stay out of Florida. Stay out of Tennessee. Stay out of South Detroit. These places you don't need to go unless you're trying to gentrify them, okay?
Yeah. You know what happened? Like, I have a couple of friends that when I always like see the map of America and I see like, what's going on here? You know, like, because you have the coast, and then in the middle you have like this states, and some of the I think the shape of some states are really lazy, like they're just squares or like you know, so you can't remember this state. So I'm like, what's going on in that place? And my friends are like, nothing. Like there's nothing there.
Farmland.
Yes.
So I was like, but why you still have those places? You know, it's like,
You could do a set in front of cows.
yeah. But like, I truly like. There's so many states. You really need all of them. You can't just like have, I mean, other countries inside your country, like Vatican City in Italy. I don't know. Maybe it's just an idea.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
I know you should present that argument to the United Nations for like immigration. Like you got all these states, y'all don't even need them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, open
People
the
will
wall,
freak
Give one to the
fuck
guys of the
out.
caravan. Just give them one.
We can give away like half of Montana.
Easy.
Nobody would know.
Nobody will know.
because
Nobody would know.
Then
Nebraska.
the other half of Montana is just owned by Ted Turner and David Letterman.
Yeah, we'll give away the part that doesn't have Yellowstone National Park,
The part that doesn't. All right.
and we'll keep Yellowstone for
Like
ourselves.
Kansas, we can give her Kansas, Oklahoma, maybe.
Nebraska.
Keep Colorado. Colorado's pretty dope.
That
Get
documentary, Wild Country.
Oh, yeah,
when
that
those
is-
guys go to like build this.
Dude, in Oregon. Yeah.
I mean, that could be happening right now. We never know. Because
happens
there's
all the
so many
time.
places that no one pay attention
That's
to.
what fucking Utah is. The Mormons just did that and made it a state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they did.
So maybe we should do that. Like, just move to these random states and build something there, and stop trying everyone in the same city. You know, like
I
maybe
was
that's
got,
kind
like-
of dumb. Like, if everyone is trying to do the same business in the same city, like no one's doing it. But yeah, it's just an idea. once
Like
again.
we have both North and South Dakota. We don't need two Dakotas. We just need. So why don't we just have everybody move there? Us and all our friends. There's like 3 people there, anyways. So we go there, we'll outnumber them, and just take over the votes. Just be like, yeah.
What about like doing
our
something
state.
like Burning Man without burning the place at the end? You know, like what about just exactly the same of Burning Man, but at the end you just like let it go. You know,
Just
And
leave
keep
it there.
going.
yeah,
Yeah.
Don't burn it down.
yeah.
Nah, but where's the fun in that? Then you can't dress up in your Mad Max shit every day.
And you're Mad Max. That's it. That's a cool life too. You
That's
know?
it. That's your life now.
That's your life now. It's not a thing that you're not going back to your normal life. You're Mad Max.
Oh man, that's got to be like calling your parents and telling them you want to be a comedian for professionalism. You know, it's like, I want to be Burning Man for the rest of my life, Dad. Like, motherfucking goddamn, all the years of college,
All those years.
all the beatings, none of it worked.
Well, that's her life now.
Right.
That's her life.
That's South
Okay,
Detroit.
Carl.
And I'm telling you, you tell me, good parents, if you want good kids, you got to beat them. That's all I'm saying.
That's. I mean,
Well,
Half of our
I
listeners
got
are now
spanked.
scared.
Skitbags Radio does not endorse or encourage the remarks of its members.
Especially Carl.
What are some of your influences in comedy growing up, man? Like who do you look at is like some of your favorites?
well, from the, like American comedians, I think Bill Hicks.
Yes.
In different ways, because sometimes like I don't want. I love Bill Hicks. I don't want to be Bill Hicks. You know, like that happened too. Like people want to try to be like the comedian they love, but like I love them for different reasons. I love Andy Kaufman, obviously.
Yes.
I like Seinfeld. Like I like Gary Shandling. I like the classic stand-up comedy. Also, right now I really like watch John Mulaney, I think, is like number one for me
I
now.
love John Mulaney.
I think the jokes are so well written. And now that I've been here, I meet a lot of like crazy, amazing comedians, like especially like Latino ones. But I don't know why, but like they put me in the Latino box right away, and it's like that's your environment now. So I meet like a lot of cool comedians there, like Chris Garcia, Jerry Garcia, and they're all Garcias. Like they're just a bunch of Garcias. And I have like different also like comedians in Chile. Like there's a guy called Felipe Abello that he's amazing. It's so hard to explain what he does because he's a comedian, but he used to be like in really like shitty TV shows for many years. And he was like making this weird alternative comedy inside The View. You know, like
Really?
yeah, he was like in a panel show for many years. Once again, it's really hard to understand because it's like there were no other spaces for like comedy. So he just go to this show and pretend to be a journalist, and he stayed there for 20 years. And then he becomes like, now he's like a proper stand-up comedian, but his material is really like, it's like Andy Kaufman in a way, but at the same time, he's super Chilean, like he's super hard to translate. So Chileans are like mostly about like saying something, trying to say the opposite. Yeah. It's such about like the nuances of the language, and he's the best. Like he's number one, and I hope someday someone can explain it to like a different audience because he's no one over there.
So like Andy Kaufman, because I do the Ding Dong show with Don Barris, who is like one of the modern Andy Kaufman type of guys, where it's almost like this reality show kind of comedy where there's this thin line between real and fake and acting and fun, and you don't know that sometimes the joke's on you just for him kind of situation. Is that what you're talking about with this guy?
Yes.
Nice, that's cool, man.
No, he's great. He's great. Very creative guy. And in Argentina, there's like this feminist comedian called Malena Pichot that I think she's doing an amazing job, like bringing new topics to like this really misogynistic culture. In Mexico, this is called Carlos Vallarta. For me, is like number one, and I think he's one of the best comedians in the world right now. He's super funny, super smart, like from a small town in Mexico City, and he performed with glasses, like sunglasses, because he can't address the audience. Like he's a weirdo, but he's super funny, and like a bunch of like different comedians from all over the world.
Nice. And when you said his name is Carlos Vallarta?
Carlos Vallarta.
Yeah, sounds like he bats over 400.
Probably with no experience.
Right?
You just step up to the plate.
Absolutely.
I love
Absolutely.
It. That's cool, man.
I love how Carl went to baseball instead of soccer or football, as it's actually
It's
called.
that last name, that Vallarta. I like Carlos Vallarta coming up to the plate in the ninth. He's down 0-2. Vallarta settles in. He looks in. He stares it down. Crack over the wall, Vallarta. You know, it just feels good.
If you see a picture of him, you'll be like, it's impossible he ever. You know? I'm going to show you a picture of him.
Especially with the sunglasses.
Yeah.
That'll be the best part.
So, what are some of your favorite rooms that you've played in, being in the U.S., like here in L.A. or New York?
Well, I really like the belly room of the Comedy Store. I think it's my favorite one.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not being here enough to like really like. There's so many places, but like that's probably. I mean, I like the small venues. I like the Lab at the Improv. I like sometimes like the I performed once at the Virgil, but I like it's this thing of like the bar, people can drink there and be like. I mean, I like that environment of like this is just a bar with like a cool stage. I think like the Laugh Factory is also great. It's really like you can feel the professionalism of everyone there, and I like that. Like I like this is like like the Improv. They have like this feeling of like this is a proper comedy club, and people here are like the professionals.
I was talking to somebody about that. They said like the Comedy Store is kind of more of a looser type of approach to it, and then they said the Laugh Factory is more of your strict. This is how it's done, baby. Is that what you would say?
For me, I got the feeling. I think the Comedy Store is great, the legends and like the history and all it's pretty cool. But also like I'm not very good with like this. I don't know how to explain, but it's like a macho vibe of like competition, of like male competition.
Yeah, it's like being in a frat house.
I found it boring. You know, like
I know what
it's
you mean.
not for me.
It's like a lot of dick rubbing.
I don't care. You know, I'm very happy with my dick. I don't need to rub it everywhere. I think it's fine inside my pants. I think it's the perfect place for it. You know, so it's I don't need to like be in that competition.
Yeah.
But I also like I think the bellroom it's the best because of that. that. It's like out of that environment, you can do more experimental stuff.
Yeah. That's
there.
what David Chappelle did his one of the specials he just put up on
Yes,
Netflix.
yes,
in the
yes.
Belly Room. He kicked us out the night he did it because we do it on Mondays. And he loves to kick us out. I think he hates to embarrass low-key. Because he always is like pushing us out. He can come on any night of the week, but no, he shows up on Monday and he's just like, you know what? I want this room now. And then when Don's just like, all right, guys, we're just going to be out on the curb.
Probably he can say about every room in America.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I can need this room now.
Yeah.
And, we all leave here right away and give it space to do his podcast if you want.
Don usually does the Kennison spot in the OR, which is the last spot of the night.
Yes.
So you can go for pretty much however long you want. And that's when Chappelle will come in and work out new material.
Yeah.
So he'll come in at the very end of everyone's set and kick Don out too. And he's like,
3
what
hours.
the fuck? It's not enough you do it on my show?
You said downstairs and kill me. Oh.
I noticed that that's big differences between the clubs and how audiences behave in the clubs, where I feel like someplace like the OR or the Belly Room is more intimate, but it also doesn't feel as like soft. And what I mean is like soft acoustically. Like, you have different, you don't have padding on the walls,
Yes.
to absorb the sound. Your voice resonates a little bit more, especially on the mic. It's a little bit more organic and like raw feeling.
Makes sense, yeah.
But whereas the Laugh Factory, one of the things I noticed about that room is it's very professional, but it's also like carpeted,
tall,
things. Tall. It's 2 stories. You have a balcony, so sound goes up instead of just out. And they have actually like done acoustics on there to match some of the sound in. So it makes sense. It just gives for an entirely different show.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
different comedians. I think like that's pretty cool about here. Like my struggle, I think, when it started in South America, it was more about like I have to be the one who have to find the audience. Like now here is like the audience will find what I'm doing. And I like that feeling of like you can do your thing. Obviously, you're in touch with what's going on with the audience, but like you have more room to like experiment and be like, oh, this is my comedy. There, I was like doing my comedy, but at the same time thinking how to get new audience or get bigger audience because there was nothing, So you were like really from scratch. Then now here, I feel like now I have to think about like what I really want to talk, how I want to talk like about it. So it's a lot of fun, but it's a different game, absolutely. And every room have a different game too. Like you see comedians who like do great in one room and do poorly in another in the same night.
Yeah, that's when the struggle of trying to do those multiple sets in one night too, because you can like get in tune with doing, let's say, like the Belly Room at an earlier set and then have to go do like the Laugh Factory or play a bar or something else totally different. And, to have to switch in that short period of time is rough, man. And it's good practice, but it's rough.
It's rough. But also, like, I think there's so many places and some of them are not ready for comedy and you just want to have comedians, but you have to you have to be ready for everything. That's also pretty cool. Like you have to be ready for everything and be like able to like manage to be funny.
So have you been doing the whole diaspora of LA comedy shows, as you mentioned, from small bars from 5 to 6 to 10 people, a couple people drinking in the millions?
Yes.
Have you been through that whole battle?
Absolutely. I did open mics for half a year, just open mics because I didn't know anyone. I moved here and I was like, okay, this is how this work. I don't know. So
you got to start at the bottom, which actually, despite your awesome success overseas, that's how you earn your stripes in the stand-up community. So now you can go to your peers and you could be like, yo, bitch, I spent time in open mics in shitty rooms just like you did.
Yeah.
So it's not like a lot of people give other people shit for like trying to jump to the head of the line. But, if they're successful in Australia or England, they come out here and they just start playing clubs and they don't do the gauntlet.
I didn't want to do that. I remember a couple of friends told me like, you have a Netflix special, just knock the door of like the improv until like I have a Netflix special. Yeah. But I was like, yeah, but then I'm going to go on stage and it's not going to be funny. I'm not ready. It's not about like, if I'm able to like get on that stage, is about if I'm ready to get on that stage. So I open mics, and it's also like, I'm very lucky. I had enough time and money to like just spend a year just going to open mics and craft my material from scratch. Yeah. That's very lucky, like a very privileged life. So I take it seriously. It's like it's my job. It's part of what I do. So I have to go back to scratch and try to find the funny in another language, the same way everyone write their own material.
That's got to be one of the things that interests me most about you is that you have honed a craft in another language with another type of audience, and then now translating it over. When I watched your stuff in English, I could see some of the same strategies and devices, but applied to English. Whereas the amount of Spanish I speak, I mean, I had to obviously go back and like brush up on my Spanish just because I'm not, practicing it every day, so I don't remember a lot of it. But when I was listening to that, I was like, oh, okay, I see how that would work there. But if you said that same thing with the same cadence in, LA or anywhere else in the States, it probably wouldn't land as well. So like, not only the content, but it's like the cadence. Like, I feel like in the Latin cultures, things are more animated, and here they're a little more subtle.
But also, like, imagine when you start talking another language, you have to figure out who you are in this new language.
It's very true, yeah.
Because the hardest thing is you can translate the words, but like translate like your charm or your like the way you talk about things. That's the hardest thing, and that's the thing that I'm still working on. Like, trying to figure out what kind of person I am in English.
Yeah. I think that's actually a good tip for like almost any starting comedian. Like, what is I guess they call it your shtick almost.
Yeah.
Like, what is your swag? Just like a rapper is figuring out his flow. Like, how can I rap for an hour and a half straight? Or like, how can I rap for 10 years in a row? That's my flow.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing for a comedian. You kind of got to figure out what is your flow in a circumstance where you can get up there and you can just kick ass nonstop with it.
Yeah, and that take time, so you have to be patient and it's hard for me too, because sometimes like I get like super anxious about like just like I know how to do this, and like why I'm not doing it all like in the same level, but then I remind myself, this is a new game. I still have I still have the tools, but this is like building something very different.
What have you encountered any like controversial jokes that you've tried to make either back home or here that you've been like, well, this is a little bit pushing the edge, but I'm gonna go for it?
I've been thinking a lot, like mostly about like we in Chile, it's not like a multicultural country. Well, I mean, there was no Asian people or like black people for many years. Now, like recently, like 5 years ago, we start having like, you see black people on the street, Like before that, there was no black people on the street. And people took pictures of them back there. I remember when I was a kid.
Like, who are these celebrities?
That's how it is in Japan,
It sounds insane, but it's true. Like, yeah.
Japan's the same way. You have like no people of like African American, no Hispanics. You're not gonna find a Mexican in Japan.
Super
not
hard,
by
yeah.
free will.
And people are not. I mean, obviously, like there's politicians who like try to take the worst of these people and make them like racist and stupid. But like most of these people are not racist. Are just like they're not communicated with this cultures.
Yeah,
so you try to explain that like they're not trying to be racist. They're just like not educated.
It's just ignorance is all. It's not. There's a blissful ignorance to it.
I mean, and they're not bad people. They're like just like in another dimension, almost. So I was trying to like explain that and make jokes about that, but like because I'm not from here, I think like I have to be very careful how I explain myself, and choose the right words, because one word can make a big difference.
Yeah.
So I try to be smart in the way I present jokes about like race, because it's also like a new topic for me. I never thought about that in South America. Mm-hmm. So because South America is about like rich against poor, like that's the main topic.
Yeah.
And it's so confusing because like rich people can be any race and poor people can be any race, but like you can tell who are from which part of town just like the way they talk or they dress or like so. It's that's the culture war is between rich and poor people.
Yeah. And low key, it's the same here, but they've coded it in color and religion.
Yes.
And sexism.
We don't have
They've coded it in all these other competitions to kind of throw us off to not notice that it's really just poor people against rich people at the end.
I think you're right. But like, yeah, it's like new materials for me to like try to explore. And yeah, I don't want to be stupid and say something I don't think. Just because I don't like, I'm not able to manage the language really well, So I'm very careful with those topics, but I have to try because it's like, it's a true story. It's a real life thing for me, So it's part of what I have to talk.
Do you have a favorite moment from your past stand-up that you've done?
Like
Over the past decade, like whether it's a show or something like in your career, or maybe just like an interaction with a fan, or I don't know, anything. So what's your favorite moment and your least favorite moment?
I mean, last year I have an amazing moment when I went to like, well, if you see the map, if you see South America, it's like a cone, and at the bottom, like there's a small town called Punta Arenas that is like people who live there. Like, it's a miracle. There's humans there. It's just like so cold, and it's insanely far, and it's so dumb just to be there. So a guy booked me a show, and I thought like, this is no one will show up to this. You know, it's thank you that this is gonna be fun because it's gonna be like free travel and a lot of miles. But then I get there and yeah, it was packed. I did 3 shows sold out, and I think it was the same people in the 3 shows. There was no more people. But it was insane. I was very like, oh, I get so far, and there's still people who like was waiting for my comedy. So that was very inspiring. Yeah. And bad moments, there's so many. Comedy's rough sometimes, you know. Like,
it's rough. It's the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah,
or tried.
It's very. You can feel very lonely sometimes, and I hate like the traveling so far and months of like being apart to like just and now that I'm here, also like I have my family there and I have my life here, so I try to like, you know, like don't get depressed, but sometimes it's like, damn it, like I'm far from home, and I'm trying to put my mind in this is a new home, but it takes some time, you know, like that's kind of hard, but it's then you go on stage, and I remember like the first time I performed at the Comedy Store or like at the Improv, and I was like, damn, this is a miracle. You know, I'm from the slums of Chile, and then 10 years later, I'm at the Comedy Store. Yeah, you know, that's pretty cool, and that's amazing. And doing shows in another language, and when the jokes work, you're like, damn it, this is magic.
Y'all better be working on a biographical movie. You can let us sign that to Netflix too, baby.
I just want the same guy of Queen. I just want that guy to produce and I think he can use the same teeth, you know, like he can use the same thing.
The Chilean Conqueror starring Remy Malek.
Yes. Yes. I want the same guy.
The Chilean Miner story starring Remy Malek.
Remy Malek, like every miner. Like every miner.
He plays every miner.
Miners are like the Smurfs now. You know, like you have the angry miner, the
sneezy miner.
Yeah.
Sneezy, drunky.
Those guys are, you know, like they're still alive. You know, they survive and they have a terrible life now.
Really?
I was reading an article about like they didn't do well, and they signed for a book, like the sign of an agreement to like someone wrote a book about them, and they didn't make any money.
They made a movie about him too. I think with Antonio Banderas, right?
It was terrible. Yeah. It was so bad. It was so bad. Yeah.
They deserve better.
They deserve better. They have a great story.
Yeah. When you moved here 2 years ago and you did your first English set, how did that go?
Terrible.
Terrible?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like the movie?
Just like the movie. Yes, exactly. No, it was bad. It was bad because it was not prepared. But one joke worked, and that's the joke is still part of my opening. That is like my Seinfeld bit, just because people like my Seinfeld impression. That's the reason why it works. You know, that I said that I learned how to speak English watching Seinfeld. So when I moved here, I was like, "Where's my table? Oh, come on!" and yeah, it works. But that was like, I mean, it was bad, but I see the spark, and you're like, okay, I have to like start from there.
Yeah,
you know?
You see which direction you're supposed to go in.
Yeah.
Do you remember where it was?
It was an open mic. I think probably it was the Haha Club. Maybe it was the Haha Club. Yeah. I remember driving there and thinking like, oh, probably this is like the easiest place to perform in all over LA. And it's not, but like just because it's like out of the like all the sunset, you know, like all
it's
that
out of the main strip.
So I was like, maybe this club is easier to like just try. But I mean, it's not easy.
Yeah,
like
it's Cafe or whatever it is.
Yeah, Haha Cafe.
It's really Southern California and like New York and the New York surrounding areas because most comics live in like either LA or New York. So when they're trying to do other clubs, they can travel within driving distance and play a lot of those. So all those supporting clubs, even maybe a smaller volume or whatever and less traffic, but they still have high caliber talent going there. Like if you go to a fucking club in Florida, you're not going to find you'll find the high quality talents that's there are the traveling acts that come through there.
Yeah.
And the ones who are there are developing their craft. And when it gets good enough, they go to fucking LA or New York. Everybody just leaves because you can't build like from the ground up in some of these places. Like there's great comics from Kansas City, plenty of other cities around North America, Toronto and all these other places. Toronto's got a really good comedy scene though. So does Vancouver. But most of it, I would say, is LA and New York and like any of those surrounding areas.
I was in San Francisco like almost 2 months ago, and it was so great. It was such a great I remember I did one show at the setup, and then I did another show in this like place without a mic, like a theater they do shows without a mic.
Just acapella.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then the guy from the setup have a second show, and they put me back. So I did 3 shows in one night, and I was like,
awesome.
that's impossible here in LA. Like, there's no way I'm gonna find like 3 shows in a night. And the audience was great. They were super smart. You can tell there's a lot of smart people in that area. Jeff Bezos was in the audience, and Mark Zuckerberg was no. But I mean, you can feel like there's like this tech people who go to these shows to like have fun, and it was great. And I was like, damn it, like here in LA, it's so hard to like really craft your material because you really have to like fight to get some spots here and there, and you put it in your calendar. Like in 3 weeks, I have like these 2 shows. So weird.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of stage time to work stuff out.
I hear
not in front of a lot of people, shall we say?
Also.
You can get stage time standing there by yourself with your friends all you want. You can get that show every night.
You can do it in your house.
Every night, but. In front of like a real crowd where you're getting real feedback and response to really know that you're building, right?
Crafting your material. Crafting is hard in this city. It's hard, and probably you have to like craft it all another place and then bring it here, like what you were saying. Like maybe that's the way to do it. I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. But also like I'm really lucky. Once again, I have a lot of friends who put me in their show. Like Shane Joshi or like. Jesus Sepulveda, other people who like just put me in their shows, Francisco Ramos, they're also like calling me and be like, you want to do 10, you want to do. So I'm having a lot of shows lately. But the thing is like I go to Chile for a month and then I get disconnected. I have to like once again get into like the loop.
Yeah, that's
come back
LA.
into the rhythm.
Yeah.
When you go back home, do you have like a manager and everything already set up? So you just go right into doing shows? Or?
Yeah, I have a guy. I don't call him a manager.
I got a guy.
He
I
don't
got a guy there, son. Hey.
It's like that. He's a guy like a guy.
My enforcer.
He don't have a name. He don't have a phone. I have multiple phone numbers. He's like,
he's got a pager. He doesn't even have a cell phone. He just pages me. Calls me back from a payphone.
It's a weirdo. It's a weirdo. And he get all these gigs, and then I go there and I do a show every night.
Wow.
I was there for a month and I did shows every single night.
And how often do you go back?
I try to do like twice a year.
Oh, okay.
Like go for like 3 weeks or 4 weeks.
Cool.
Make sure they don't forget who you are.
Yeah.
I need
Then leave.
I don't want to disappear. Like I see my hands on me, like I'm still alive. I'm still here.
I have another stupid American question.
Let's go.
Since you guys are like on the bottom, like southern hemisphere, are your seasons like different or opposite or anything?
That's not a stupid question, man. That's a very interesting one because it's the opposite.
It is?
Yeah.
Yes, man.
Oh, pew, pew, pew.
Right now it's summer.
Yeah.
It's summer.
It is.
I was in summer 2 days ago, and now it's not summer anymore for me. But and that, you know what is the weirdest part about that is like for me Christmas is
that's what I was gonna say.
sunny. But the stupid thing is because we copy paste everything about an American culture. Santa Claus is still wearing the same clothes. He's dressed like it's winter.
He doesn't wear a tank
It's
top.
snowing.
and
Yeah, he should be like
red shorts.
naked, or because it's so hot. And once again, we're talking about old people. all fat people dress like summer, not like dress like winter in the middle of summer.
So they're just like falling over.
Wait.
Heat strokes.
Yeah.
Outside
how
of
does-
shopping malls all over Chile, Santa Claus is
They're all
passed out. Heat
dead.
stroke.
No, and also like kids putting their legs. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare for these old folks. Sorry, guys. I don't know why people just copy paste the culture, like
Because
like
we're-
fake snow. Why? Why we don't have like a summer Christmas that could be fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
how they-
sand angel or sandcastle instead of a snowman.
Palms
So,
instead of like the trees. Like
Yeah.
change.
How do they do it in Australia?
I don't know. Those
Same
heathens
thing.
don't believe in religion.
But what's the difference for like schooling? Because when we're like, oh yeah, we're out for summer, do you go like, oh yeah, we're out for winter?
No, we
Like-
just go for summer, but in a different time. It's exactly the same. It's like, okay, guys, like bye, and it's people stop going to school November, and they go back on February.
What?
That's
That's
crazy.
interesting.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, we still. I mean, it's still summer vacations, but like
Copy paste.
copy paste culture. So weird, so dumb. I don't know why, but well, I don't know.
What do you think is the biggest thing Americans can learn from Chileans?
Oh, that's a big question.
And vice versa.
Damn it.
And the other way around, maybe, if anything.
Well, I think Chileans really need to learn that we have a problem. We have a demographic problem. We're not that many people. So people fight for their space they don't help each other. Competition is kind of savage. Here's is also like that, but you can find other comedians or other people who in the same thing you do, you can connect and they help each other. I think in Chile, people don't help each other because they're scared of lose their space.
Yeah.
So and I really like when you connect with other comedians or we connect with other people, funny people, you do things together, like because there's like a third sense of humor to come out of that. Like your sense of humor, the other person's sense of humor, and bring something new. And that doesn't happen very often down there. And that's something that I see here in America more, because also like there's so many comedians, like you try to survive, so you make friends and you like make community.
That's how we ended up with this Skitbags Radio and Skitbags.
Absolutely.
That's how we got together. A bunch of individually talented people. We all had a goal that we all wanted our own little big time dream. But then as you go out and you build and you network with each other, you find people that work with you and they're down to build and they're legitimately with you and they're not just trying to get $1 out of you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? They're trying to build something and you make something great.
That's the way things should be. I mean, and the opposite was like things that Chileans should learn from America. No,
that's what you
Americans
just
should learn.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. Is there anything? I'm sure.
I mean, yeah. I think the like level of aggression here, it's kind of absurd. Like
Really?
kind of like just. I mean, it's there's when you're in a small town. Once again, one of the good things is like you see the same people all the time. So if you insult someone, like next week you're gonna see it again, or like. I'm not saying it's that small, but what I'm saying is like, I don't know, if you work in an environment, like someone you hate in many years, maybe gonna get married with your daughter. I don't know, like, like it's just like a world when you can't really hate the other because you're gonna see them soon, or like they're gonna be around you in one way or another. So I think like here, people they just don't care. They hate the other because they're never gonna see the other again. Like they feel like they're like so far from them. So yeah, I think you can learn that you need community also, like to build stuff. I mean, I'm giving the same advice to both places, but it's really like about you can do more stuff if you get well with people than if you try to fight each other.
So be a little nicer.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was trying to say.
Everyone can be a little nicer, and everyone can laugh a little bit more.
Cut this 10 minutes of speeches and just say like, just be nice. Just be nice.
Be a little nicer.
Yeah.
What's one of your like big dream things you want to accomplish in America? Is it like getting another special in English? Is it like playing big theaters or in arenas out here? Like where do you see you want to go? Do you want to get into movies, TV? What do you want to do now that you're here? Ideally.
I want to do everything. I want to do TV. I love radio. I love movies. I love. I really love stand-up comedy. It's like the core of everything you do. But yeah, I can imagine myself like trying to bring this outsider insider vision of like Latino culture in the U.S. And that's, I think, what I want to do in different formats. You know,
what if somebody gave you, and this could be not comedy or entertainment related, it can be with anything. There's a question we always ask, like every guest, and it's if somebody gave you a giant bag of money, what would you want to do with it? Like $1 billion, like enough money that you can do whatever you want.
Buy this radio station. And
Shadowski.
I give it back to the natives. You know, something nice for those people. You know, they deserve that.
Hilarious.
I would love to like do projects with my friends and help people to like accomplish their dreams, accomplish mine, but also like help people to like, okay, this is a cool idea for a movie. It's gonna take 10 years to make it with a studio and all that bullshit. I would love to like be able to like, let's go to Chile with a crew and make this movie with people from different countries and find new comedy in that mix. That's what I would love to do with a bunch of money. Like feel like just do things for me and do things for like bringing comedy to like different countries.
What is the film and TV industry like in Chile? Like, is there a lot of content you guys are making? Is it all in-house? Do you guys get a lot of stuff from other Spanish cultures and like movies from Argentina and Colombia? Or is it really kind of all in-house? How does it work down there?
Now there's a lot of like cool things going on in the movie industry. We just won an Oscar. Chile, like the movie A Fantastic Woman, that is about a transsexual woman that is amazing. Like, is a Chilean director, is a friend of mine, and they're like amazing crew. Like, they're doing great stuff there. And movies, right now I think Argentina have like so many amazing directors. Like, I don't know if you see this movie. It's a couple of years ago. It was called Wild Tales. It's like little stories of like people just doing wild stuff. It's just so creative and amazing and come from a different space. And I think, once again, when you're here, like this industry is like so slow. It's like moving like big ships, so everything just turns so slow. But there, you still can go to a guy and be like, "Hey, you're rich. You want to make this movie?" And he's like, "Yeah," and that movie will happen. You know. So we still have that freedom of like experiment a little bit more than be like, oh, the notes of the CEO or whatever. Like it's so slow in here, and we have a big industry. But TV is bad. Like TV is not good.
You mentioned that one bad TV show. How many shows on Chilean TV are bad?
Most of them.
Most?
They're terrible. Like it's like stuck in the 70s.
Oh, so just outdated.
This week in Chile there was the telethon. Jerry Lewis. Like Jerry Lewis telethon. Exactly the same content. Like it's so old.
What is the name of the show that you were on? It's Chile Divine Festival or something?
Viña.
Okay.
It's a small town called Viña del Mar.
Okay. And that's the one where you had to go up and it's like the Super Bowl in front of the country, right?
Yeah. And that's Night of the Polo at the same time.
That's right. Yeah. And I was just watching it. I was telling Carl on the way over here. I was watching a little bit of it and I skipped ahead that intro and just went to your part so I could listen to it. But while I was watching it, I noticed the guy was wearing like a blue tux.
Oh, yeah.
That looked like fucking Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber. And the girl was wearing like a nice like Oscar formal dress or some shit.
Yeah, it's so weird. That show, once again, it's a music festival, but it's mostly like how to explain it, like these Italians all like music fest, like Sanremo or like Eurovision, like TV shows about music that are like people well dressed trying to pretend to be like this high quality thing.
Kind of like an American Bandstand. Like from back in the day, a lot like that, where there's a host and they bring in different acts, whether it's music and comedy or whoever. But
it's so old. Like TV is so dated. Like it's insane. It's sad.
Wait. So you were basically on Soul Train in Chile.
Exactly. With a lot of like screens, LED screen. You know, like the same. That's funny. Like just the old formats, but it's still like they get like the new stuff.
Yeah.
But it's still the same old boring shows, but with like more TVs.
It's an old format with mumble rappers on it now.
Exactly. Yeah, that's part of the magic.
Do you have any shows coming up?
I have a show. I have to find them. I'm not good with this. Have it in my calendar. I'm gonna be at the UCB in a show called Spanish Aquí Presenta. It's like it's a kind of a variety show. I think it's the December 7th. I'm gonna put it in my Instagram with all the information because I'm so bad at this. But yeah, I have that show. I have another show that is like about comic books and comedy. Someone invited me there, and I'll be performing. I don't know when and where, but follow me. And
Follow him on Instagram, and you might find out.
I'm so bad at this, so I'm sorry. But yeah. If you follow me, my Instagram, my social media is at Fabrizio Copano. So yeah,
You can't mess that up.
yeah.
Are you doing content related to comic books and superheroes, or is that just what?
I have to. Like that's
Well, I
part of
didn't
that show. I didn't know that till like someone tagged me, and I was like, "Oh, I'm on that." On this
Is that
show.
an English set or is it?
No, it's in English. It's here. It's
Okay,
here.
cool.
I think it's in Culver City. Well, if you follow me, you will see it soon.
Are you a fan? Are you a big fan of any of the comic books, or is this something you got to go start watching movies?
No. I watched the whole thing. I know. I have my Marvel stuff. You know. I know.
Ooh,
I can have
Marvel.
conversations about Marvel and DC Comics, and I'm fine. I'm not an expert, but I'm okay. I can debate.
Yeah.
All right.
Debate about.
So
Fantastic Four.
favorite Marvel superhero
Yeah.
or villain?
The Silver Surfer.
There you go.
Wow. What do you like?
nice.
For what reason?
Because he's so cool. Look at him.
Space.
Look at that
Solid
guy.
metal.
He's a Silver Surfer, you know? Damn it.
Yeah.
The movies are not great. Like,
No,
he's,
sadly not.
no, but I'm sure someday. Obviously, like, Batman is like the most important superhero because he's not a superhero.
Yeah, he's just a rich guy.
He's just a rich guy, and we all loved rich people.
Yeah. Apparently.
Or Iron Man. Iron Man's basically just a
Yeah, he's a
rich
rich
guy.
guy.
And he was selling guns and like he was an army selling.
He was an international arms dealer.
Yeah.
Superhero.
He's not a nice. I mean, Batman's dad was a doctor. You know, like
Yeah.
it's a very different thing. So yeah, I think that's my favorite. Like Batman, Silver Surfer, and maybe one of the Green Lanterns.
One of the Green Lanterns?
Yeah, there's
Just a bunch of them.
there's been a bunch of them. Yeah.
There are a bunch of them. There's a whole core of them.
They have their own team.
Yeah.
So where do you stand, Marvel versus DC?
Okay, I think I
Marvel.
I prefer the DC comic characters.
Yeah.
But
Same.
I think Marvel has been doing a better job in
Oh yeah.
everything in the last 20 years. You know,
They
like
have.
I second that motion. Agree? Very much.
if you take out like the Christopher Nolan, one of the Christopher Nolan movies, you know, everything of DC Comics has been bad, like bad to awful. People's like, no, but the Arrow. Who cares? You know? I don't care about the Arrow in CW. You know,
Wonder Woman was good. Wonder Woman was the only
Wonder
good
Woman,
one.
yeah.
Wonder Woman was
it was
great.
good. No, you know what? Wonder Woman, it was good, but like it was not amazing.
Yes, it was.
Oh,
Yes, it was.
see,
Yes, it was.
I
Yes,
took
it
a spot for
was.
this.
I don't think it was
Yes,
amazing.
it was.
As a
cried.
40, go ahead.
Sorry. I love the character, but I think the movie was not that
I think
amazing. There was
it's
nothing
just-
new.
It was
It's
just
more
a Marvel
impactful
movie.
when you're seeing stuff like as women. It's just so impactful to see the first.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
I cried multiple times.
It's like Crazy Rich Asians with
Now,
me.
as somebody
Yeah.
who's
Okay.
The
Yeah.
Black Panther.
Well, that's every movie for a man.
Yeah.
well, I'm actually,
I cry in every movie. Every movie is like my Crazy Rich Asian again.
Aquaman has been getting incredible reviews.
Has
I
it
think that's-
really?
Yeah.
I think that's going to if they do
let's
it
tell the
right,
truth.
they'll say it.
Zack Snyder was not doing the right thing.
No, he was making it a little too moody.
He was trying to make everything so epic that nothing was epic.
He sucked the fun out of it.
Yeah,
Really.
and once again, like you have the Justice League movie and you ruined that.
Oh, he botched it.
He should be in jail. You know, you're ruining the Justice League. Like they give you gold, they give you just you have to show the gold
It's
to the
a gift
world.
we're giving you, Zach. It's a gift.
And he wasn't able to show gold. You know, like to make gold shine.
He turned it to silver.
Yeah, it was
Tarnished.
This is the reverse alchemy. We're trying to.
We're talking. It's so easy. I can make a good Justice League movie. I don't know how to do anything. I just like I have the biggest characters on earth. I just show them fighting and having fun and having like little jokes in the middle.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it.
The movie's done.
That's it.
Damn it.
DC just came too dark, too real, too trying to be scary. Because I think you gotta remember, like DC's old MO in the '90s, like '80s and '90s, Tim Burton with Batman, and then all the other Batman with fucking George Clooney and Val Kilmer. Like those are like in line with the Adam West. Like they're caricatures. They're
they were
almost
trying to
so
get back to that.
So silly and so over the top that like when they try to do all these revamps now, you can't. Like they wanted to just get away from all that.
Yeah.
And I think it's just timing. Marvel just was like, nope, we're gonna be funny. And
once again, the Tim Burton movies, they're also fun. They were also like funny. Like there were little jokes in the middle. They were not like just I'm Batman. Like I don't care about that Batman. Because Batman, I mean, once again, Batman's already super depressing if you take out the fun.
He's the darkest character. He's like always moody and always down. He's held on to his fucking parents' murder for 40 fucking years.
He's got some abandonment issues.
And by the way, Ben Affleck was a great Batman. I think he was a great Batman. It was a great idea of a Batman. Like the movie was bad, he was great.
He was so good at being Batman that they canceled his standalone Batman.
Exactly. I mean, Zack Snyder. That's the problem here.
Yeah. Ben wasn't as bad as some of the others. Michael Keaton and Christian Bale, probably the two, I think, forefront. One of the funny things is right after I can't remember whether it was Justice League or whether it was Batman vs. Superman, but right after one of those movies came out, like a month later, I'm standing out on Sunset, right like on the border of Sunset to Beverly Hills, right there on that stretch, and I'm smoking a cigarette, and at the light pulls up a Bentley, an all black on black Bentley.
Oh my God, I know exactly where you're going.
Yeah, and on the license plate on the front, it was a black license plate, yellow writing, said Batman, and it was Ben Affleck driving it. And I was like, bro, you just bought yourself this Bentley with Batman money and then have a black on black Bentley with Ben Affleck and Batman. Like, I can't use alliteration more than saying the B word so many fucking times that I'm like, he did it as just a joke to himself. So, like, whatever. I mean, you got fuck you money. You can do whatever you want.
No, that would happen when you have a lot of money and you're drunk all the time. It's just like, okay, just give me that car and put a Batman there.
Well, I mean, he probably saw the movie and was like, I'm going to the bar.
I mean, he's Ben Affleck. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, no, by the way, I'm a fan of Ben Affleck. I support him. I think he's an amazing director. I truthfully think he's a better director than he is an actor. But, whatever.
Very well could be.
The good thing is, like, I love, like, how they not worry at all about what we're saying. That's the beauty about, like, talking about, like, famous people. It's like, I think Zack Snyder is like a mountain of gold. Like, just,
he does not
the
care.
gold he can't show, like, in the movies. But, like, he's super rich. And he's like just whatever, like this guy's in Dash
Fabrizio
Radio.
Copano says I'm too dark.
Okay, whatever.
Who is this guy?
Yeah, what is that? That's a name? That's a person?
He goes to your Instagram, clicks see translation. He's like,
oh okay, not interesting.
Fabrizio's gonna be like, yo, y'all motherfuckers are gonna lose your market in Chile. I'm just gonna talk some mad shit, and it's gonna. You got that influencer power, man. Don't sell yourself short.
I don't want to use it. I think it's like once again, we're talking about Stan Lee comic books with great powers.
Comes great responsibility. You don't want to bankrupt anybody with your.
I don't want to do that.
You could. You've got that power.
Absolutely.
Yo, wiser words have not been spoken on this show before. I am greatly appreciative that you are taking this approach to your comedy, and I hope it's something that other people look to, because there's a lot of charlatans. There's a lot of charlatans out there. And you, sir, are not one of them.
Oh, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
You've been awesome. Tell the people out there, let them know where they can find you. We already said your Instagram. Shout out again. You got some dates coming up, website, whatever you want. Let people know. Tell them what's up.
Well, guys, my name is Fabrizio, like Febreze, like that product, but with an I and an O at the end. So Fabrizio Copano, Copano. Every social media I have is with the same name. They're all verified, so that means I'm myself, you know. I'm a comedian here in LA. If you have any spot and you want to, like, you don't care, and you're like, oh, I want to try a Chilean guy there, I'm available. Just write me, and
yeah, we got some people. I'm gonna put you on some stuff.
Thank you guys for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
You got an open invite. You ever want to come back? You got something you want to plug or promote? You want to just come back and talk? Just fucking do it up, man.
And this place is great. Like, this is a nice office. This is a real place. You know, when people are like, you have to go to my podcast, and it's like, oh yeah, it's in my living room with my mom.
And my cat is walking over.
You're still trying to be funny there. You know, like, you're still like, you know, the mom is crying in the corner, but you're still trying to be funny. It's part of the magic of LA. So it's a real nice place to do a show.
I know. It could be a Starbucks or a real place. You don't know.
You never know.
Until you get there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's no sign to... Yeah, you're right. Like, from outside, it's like, yeah, this is an art gallery or a Starbucks or Dash Radio.
Well, we're in Hollywood, so, like, there's a lot of vagrants wandering around these streets, and I don't know if they want to just advertise all the niceness of in this building.
One of them is the president of Uruguay. And now everything is connected. Everything is connected.
Woo! In comedy, that's what you call a callback, ladies and gentlemen. Well done. Well done. Fabrizio, thank you so much. Carl, Carl, take us away. Lead us around the circle.
Oh, yeah. It's Poppy Carlo on the Instagram. Mr. CD Enforcer. Check out the Ding Dong Show on Mondays at the Comedy Store in the Belly Room at 10 o'clock with Don Barris. Always check out gtscomedyjam.com. We do 2 shows a month. We always want to look for great people like you. I got a bunch of terrible shows for you to do.
Thank you, man. I'm in. Where do they sign?
I got you. I'm telling you. Also, check out The Clapper, which is on Netflix. Also, check out Office Uprising, which is on Crackle. Also, get ready for Crosswords 3 that's coming out with me and Scott So Surface from the Ding Dong Show and all that kind of stuff. We got, who's the dude? Machete. He all up in there doing, like, cool stuff. And, man, just, you know...
Danny Trejo, that was his name.
Danny Trejo.
And just love yourself. Love yourself, baby.
Thank Jesus.
Woo! As always, you can find me on Instagram at Casey Persich. That's KASEYPERCICH. Wow, I'm actually really surprised that I said that really fast. Wow. Thank you so much.
Hey guys, it's Gabby Shake. Follow me, Gabby Shake at... I almost said my full email.
Shake.
Why did I
My
do
social
that?
security number
Follow
is
me
what?
at Gmail.
At gmail.com. No, you can follow me at Gabby Shake on Instagram, Twitter, all of the social medias. And guys, just give out love. It's the holiday season.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Let's keep it positive and keep it rolling.
Yeah. Well, you got me on the board, twisting knobs, pushing buttons, pretending that I know what I'm doing with it. You can follow me on Instagram at TMcD with 2 underscores. Fabrizio, thank you for being here.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's,
It was a blast.
Sailor Dev signing out. Sailor_Dev on Instagram. But more importantly, go follow at Skitbags, at Skitbags Radio on Facebook and Twitter. And go to our website, skitbags.com, so you can see all of our other shows. We have Film History, the history of film, on iTunes and Spotify right now, and anywhere you can find a podcast. Also have 2 YouTube shows, Fight Dub, which is coming back into full swing now that we're operating a new season, and The Mix and Serve, which just completed its season. So shout out to our friends and fam over there. Any other updates? Anything else? You guys, we good? Nope. And Skitbags Radio. We're out.
We're out on Dash Talk X.
Skitbags Radio.